Cool. So, Zach, do you have GarageBand open, ready to
I
hit
do.
record?
I am ready to go, ready to record.
Go ahead and start recording.
Yep.
Perfect. We are recording.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. Testing 1, 2. Peter Pronto, please bring pizza pronto.
Peter
Please.
Parker, pick the pepper.
Please
Stephen
bring
Augustine. Augustine Stephen. Okay, we're good.
William Grublar.
Oh my
Did I say it
God.
wrong again? I butchered it, didn't I?
Is that how you pronounce it?
Been friends for years, guy. Grobalar.
Grow. That's right. It's a growth.
Obalar.
Yes, like a growth.
Like a growth on the back of my neck.
Barnacle.
Barnacle Will.
Dude, is that a barnacle on your shoulder blade? Or is that just like a slug, dude?
Barnacle Willy.
Oh boy.
Hey everybody, welcome to Will and Drew's Gaming Retrospective. You're listening to episode 96. It's the week of October 4th, 2020. I'm your host, Drew, and I am joined by Barnacle Will. What's up, man?
I am hanging in there, man. I'm clearly hanging in there. I mean, I got a barnacle on my shoulder blade. I don't know how it got there.
You should get that looked at.
I am well, man.
You got to get that looked at.
No, I'm well, man. How about you?
You know, all things are good. You know,
good.
That's all we can ask for right now. I'm just I'm coming off the back end of a really long work week. We just had a shift rotation, 7 days in a row. I did kind of end up having to call out one day. I have an ear infection, of all things. At 37 years old, I have a fucking ear infection. But
you child.
Yeah, but other than that, man, like I basically worked 6 days straight and fucking beat. But I'm done. I'm very excited to sit down and talk about video games with not only you, but our very special guest. You see that smooth segue there, Will?
that was pretty smooth, man. Yeah, we're both really excited. We actually have Zach, one of my good friends from work, joining us on the show today. What's up, Zach?
Hey guys, how's it going? Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, man. It's our pleasure.
Thanks for taking some time to sit and chat with us, man. Will's been telling me about you for forever. You know, basically since he started working with you. And he's like, yo, man, we got to get this guy Zach on the show. Got to get this guy Zach on the show. I'm like, all right. Fucking let's just get Zach on the show.
Yeah, Will came in first day, parked his stuff down right next to me, and the video game conversation just took off.
That's cool.
And it hasn't stopped. So
it has not. It's continued even from a work from home environment. So
that's awesome.
Right.
That's awesome. So before we like kind of just dive into things, Zach, like you got anything that you're working on social media wise you want to plug? Any projects you're doing or?
Not as of yet. I mean, as I told you recently, I might be starting to work on some new things. But and in terms of social media, I mean, I don't even use social media too much anymore.
Good.
Either, which is just
good.
Tend to stay away from it, especially these days. People have way too much to say when they're all cooped up.
Yeah, man.
In their homes. So
good for you.
Well, not only that, but to quote the infamous Zach, who is now on the show, I think you said something along the lines of, "It's a waste of time," and I'll never forget that. You put it so simply, but it really does sum up social media so well.
It can be. Sometimes you ever just jump in a comment section and you look at some stuff. You'd like to say something, but what's the point? You know what I mean? So
every single day.
Can't get caught up in it.
No.
It's there. I use it, but definitely don't use it as much as I used to, and really narrowed it down to like 1 or 2. YouTube's my baby. You know, I don't have to listen to people bitch about stuff on there. I can just watch what I want to watch, and it's always got something great to recommend to me. And
yeah, I agree with that. YouTube is quite the rabbit hole.
And speaking of video game content, it's all right there for you.
Mm-hmm.
There is just an unlimited amount of amazing and terrible things that come out of YouTube. Like, it's truly awe-inspiring in both directions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that.
We don't have cable here. We canceled it many moons ago. So everything that we watch is either on YouTube or Pluto TV or acquired through other means. So, yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube.
I heard a lot of people like that YouTube TV. Apparently, that's pretty good.
Well,
yeah, we use that.
I mean, I think just from my perspective, the pricing really isn't all that much different than what you'd be paying for cable.
Yeah.
You know? So.
That's true.
Anyway, Will, take it away, man.
Sure. Any shilling that we want to get out of the way? I can't remember if we actually even did that.
Fuck. Check us out on the web at WDGRPodcast.com. You can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at WDGRPodcast. You can find me on Twitter at ScienceStorm. Nobody gives a shit. Will, how can they find you?
Oh my gosh. The delivery on that was spot on, man. You can find me on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com. Will_gear is my username.
Excellent. I'm in rare form.
Got
tonight.
some good stuff on there.
Appreciate it, man. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I've been listening to that recently. Occasionally,
Awesome.
You'll send something in the iMessage.
Yo, yeah.
And I'll listen. I think one day you said thanks for 43 plays, and I said, yeah, just jumped on, happened to listen to a bunch of songs, apparently 43 times.
Does it tell you who listens to your music?
Yeah, somewhat. So if I go into Insights, it'll say Naugatuck.
Yeah.
Or it'll say Drew Koselik or whoever's actually listening to my tracks. It'll actually say who's been listening to, however many of them.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's good information to know, because now I know I can't lie to you and tell you I've listened to something that I haven't.
I'll check.
And not that I've done that yet, but it just
that son of a bitch.
Future Drew knows.
I know. No, I appreciate it. It's really coming into something kind of cool. So we'll see where it goes.
Very nice, man.
But yeah. So leading into introducing Zack. So Zack and I, like I said, we met at work back in end of January. And, yeah, like you said, man, we kind of just hit it off right away. We kind of got to know each other just like anybody would. And we started sharing our gaming news and stories and memories and kind of what we're playing now. And, yeah, we just kind of went from there. And I remember you started suggesting God of War pretty early on.
Oh, yeah. And I think I remember you... I think I was maybe talking to one of our other coworkers who we've had on the show, Ben, and you just looked at me and he's like, Will goes, "You guys game?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, dude."
I think I do remember saying that.
Yeah, and then it just took off all the time.
It's like that nervous question you want to ask, but you're afraid to because you don't want to out yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was just for whatever reason, I just assumed...
Are you one of those guys?
Yeah.
I just assumed that most of the team was not really a gamer, because I think there still is kind of a stigma for who may appear to be a gamer and who may not. So, yeah, it was a nice surprise because everybody was like, hey, man, COD or COD or whatever. So it was kind of... it was nice. It was nice to hear that, the majority of our team is gaming for the most part.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I think there's such a difference between how people view gaming. Some people game, some people just play competitive games like Call of Duty. Others really kind of get involved in some of the Sony exclusives, more of the storyline games. There's literally strictly people, I think, that just play Call of Duty and don't expose themselves to anything else.
Nope.
And I feel sorry for them.
I can respect that because there is a lot that they're missing out on. But at the same time, you get those what Drew and I call weekend warriors that like to fire up their Xbox on a Saturday afternoon or evening, play some COD, and they call it a day. So,
sure. Nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. It just seems like there's certain segments of gamers that are kind of relegated to certain consoles. You know, I think like one of my favorite podcasts, Stone Age Gamer, kind of refers to like the FPS crowd as like the Xbox bros or the X bros or something like that. And I as a avid Xbox gamer, I take offense to that because there is a lot more than just that style of gaming available on Xbox. I've been playing indie games since the fucking pandemic started, and really enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, typically it seems like, I don't know if it's a stigma again, but it seems like there are a lot of the quote-unquote weekend warriors on Xbox, but I don't know how true that really is. I think that can be applied to nearly any console.
Oh, totally. And I think that gap is going to lower significantly with this coming generation, too.
Yeah.
This generation is going to be much different, I think.
Yeah. Like, what are you looking forward to?
Myself?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into this later, I'm sure, but speaking from a console standpoint, I'm definitely going for the PS5 just because I'm an exclusives guy. So I'm very excited for that. Will asked me, I think at the beginning of the last PlayStation event, what do you want to see? And I was like, well, I don't expect to see these things, but I'd really like to see them. And that was the PlayStation UI. So I'm really excited to see that. Have not seen that yet, which I'm very surprised because we're, almost a month out?
Yeah.
Not a month out. And a God of War teaser. Sure enough, right at the end of the show, I thought it was over. As you all know, it was not over. They teased God of War, and I was pumped. And that is one of the things that I'm very excited for. That, I'm also a big Spider-Man fan. So the Miles Morales that's coming out, along with the remastered Spider-Man PS4, very excited for that as well. And just like a standard of most games being at 60 frames per second is going to be really neat. They already launched or showcased some Spider-Man remastered gameplay at 60 frames per second. And, after playing Spider-Man on PS4, that game looked excellent, and I didn't think it could really look better. It looked really good at 60 frames per second, so I'm excited to see a lot of games perform like that.
And you were playing on a Pro too, right?
Yeah, I was playing on a Pro.
I thought the thing looked amazing on the standard PS4,
Oh, yeah, absolutely it did.
Now, question, are you the type of person that would go back and replay the original Spider-Man with the remastered graphics, or are you really...
Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Sony always tends to do things ass backwards, upset their fans a little bit along the way, but we're so loyal with the exclusives it doesn't even matter. So one of the things people are complaining about right now is that you can't even get the remastered version if you don't buy Miles Morales.
Okay.
So now
Really?
so it's going to be a $70 game. You get Miles Morales Ultimate Edition, and that Ultimate Edition includes the remastered Spider-Man PS4. And there's actually going to be a lot more changes. I don't know if you saw the whole controversy. They recast Peter Parker's face
I heard about
for
that.
the game. People are losing their minds. I don't know why. I don't mind at all. I think it looks great, and I think Insomniac has a great vision, and they already delivered arguably probably the best superhero game to ever hit a console. So I trust them and what they plan to do. But I'm certainly going to play Spider-Man PS4 remastered before I even touch Miles Morales, because I'm kind of like the lead-in guy. Even though I already played it, I almost want to play it again and then pick up on Miles Morales right after that. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's willpower, man. Like, that's what I like about you is, like, we have a friend, Vic, who is very patient and very loyal to, like, certain franchises, and he won't move on to something else until something else is complete. And I think with Miles Morales, as good as it looks, I think a lot of folks are going to have a hard time going back to the remastered and playing that first and then going to Morales.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
Sometimes
cool.
I have a hard time going back to like very old games. Like Will, I think I told you when I went back and played The Last of Us, I was unsure if I wanted to play that because I didn't really know. I knew it was a game that came out in what? It was 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
I think 2013 remastered in 2014. And you told me, no, the remastered version actually plays pretty well. So I gave it a try, and obviously it's not up to today's standards, but wow, I loved that game.
Yeah.
Still
I'm
one
sure
of my
we'll
favorites.
Discuss that at
yeah,
some point.
for sure.
That's awesome, man. So one thing that we're really curious about is your kind of first gaming memory, like your first console, first game, first experience.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back in time and tell us about that.
So if I were to really, really think about it, my first gaming experience wasn't even my own console. I used to go to daycare down the street. My daycare, they had a Nintendo 64. I remember holding that big-ass controller in my hands, playing Mario Kart. I wanted Bowser because I liked dinosaurs and dragons at that point. Everyone told me he sucked. I chose him, and man, I crashed into a lot of walls. and that controller was way too big for my hands. Have you gone back and looked at pictures? I mean, I'm sure you guys have played the 64, but have you gone back recently and looked at pictures of that controller?
It is
absolutely ridiculous.
If you give me a couple of minutes, I can go get a couple.
Absolutely ridiculous. Who designed that?
It's pretty terrible.
Anyways.
I'm pretty loyal to that console, but it's still pretty terrible.
I actually heard something fairly recently that they essentially made Mario 64 and then designed the N64 controller around that game. And I don't know if that's true or not. I'd like to try and find some more information out about that. But it would make sense. It does seem like that's the kind of controller that maybe you reverse engineered,
maybe.
Nobody thought that was a good idea. They just built function over form 100%.
I feel like Donkey Kong made it.
Yeah, it kind of does feel that way, he was trying to throw
he designed it.
He was trying to throw some barrels and he ended up throwing his controller instead and it half broke and he was like, "Oh shit, that's my only one."
Well, it kind of has a banana quality to it. There's just something. It's like a cross between a banana and a boomerang or something.
Something like that, yeah. Just wild, the design of it. But yeah, that was more or less my. If I really think back, my first memory of playing a video game, and it was all the older kids, right? And I'm just kind of waiting for my turn. Sure enough, I get on it, and I'm just crashing into walls and stuff. But when it came to my own console. My brother and I got a PS1 for Christmas one year.
Nice.
And we played the shit out of that. Had a good time. I was so young at that point. It was I had to look down to remember what buttons I needed to hit. That's crazy. You think about the instinct you have now. It's just insane.
I feel like parents do that too.
Yeah.
Oh, now, yeah, absolutely. I think I had one of my uncles who was a Marine. I remember this was even when I was way younger. I think this is when we had a PlayStation 3. My brother and I were playing Call of Duty. He came over, thought it was cool, tried to pick it up. Same thing. Immediately points his gun to the sky, starts walking around. Has no idea where he's going.
Oh, man. You do that controller lift. Drew, you
yep.
know what that is.
Oh, yeah. Start turning with the controller when you're playing racing games and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if people still do that.
I do.
Do you really?
Sometimes, yeah. If I'm really into something and if I'm terrible at it, then totally.
I suppose that's acceptable.
Yeah.
Speaking of racing, I don't know. Do you guys have a PS1?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We had the steering wheel attachment.
Oh, nice.
That went on with the PS1. And we used to play Crash Bandicoot Nitro Kart.
Okay.
Which was a blast. I don't know if you guys ever play that game.
Not that one, no.
No.
That was cool. That one you could use the wheel on that, and I had I think it was a Hot Wheels game for the PS1 as well. So super fun. That was cool too. Because I guess it's easy to get used to the old PlayStation controller, but once you pretend like you're driving a car, that's a good time.
It's a whole nother world.
Oh yeah. And Crash Bandicoot Nitro Kart, still to this day, one of the better like racing games like that, multiplayer racing games. Awesome, so much fun. They tried to remake it on the GameCube, was not as good. The original on the PS1 was killer.
Really?
Absolutely.
I didn't know there was a wheel for the PS1.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah, there's a wheel.
Huh.
And it was a good time. Either that or my memory is so broken, and maybe it was the GameCube, but I'm almost positive it was the PS1.
No, I mean, it looks... I just did a quick Google search, and there's quite a few matches. Not only does it have a wheel, but it also has a set of pedals that go with it.
I'm sure it was used for Gran Turismo.
Oh, yeah, totally. That's...
Yep. Yeah, we had the pedals and everything. You kind of just put it... You almost just plop it down on a table, and you put the pedals underneath you.
Yeah.
And you just play that way.
That's
cool. Fun.
Yeah, there's a couple like third-party ones, and then I don't know if there's an official one. Racing wheels. Now I'm on eBay. This is what happens.
You're putting bids in.
Well, no.
I need this.
Here's one that has like a Ferrari logo on it.
Oh yeah, there's
there
a
you go.
lot, dude. You're not kidding me.
Interesting. Yeah, you learn something.
Look at that. All right, my memory is correct. All right.
Nice work.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah, I remember that. I knew it was either the PS1 or the GameCube, but I was pretty sure it's the PS1 because I remember playing Crash Bandicoot on it.
Okay.
And I don't know what your library looked like from the PS1, but man, like the games are ridiculous. I had to look this one up, mind you. Cool Borders. It's a snowboarding game.
Oh yeah.
Which, if you ever played like SSX Tricky before, this had to have been like the precursor to that.
It was.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, those Cool Border games I think were by the same studio that did SSX.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, you know what? I think I'm looking at it, and I think you're right.
Let's see here. UEP Systems. Maybe I'm wrong.
But I remember playing that game against my brother too. Yeah, that was a fun game until we got a GameCube and played SSX Tricky,
right,
with the awesome soundtrack and look at that controller.
Which one?
What is that?
Oh jeez.
It just came up when I was checking out the wheels. I was like, I got to share this because Drew and I were just talking about like shitty third-party controllers recently, so
yeah,
I felt it was appropriate.
I just want to know what game this goes with, because like if Namco made this,
maybe a safe cracking game or something. There's a little dial on there.
So for our listeners that aren't able to see this, we have a Namco controller. It's a PlayStation 1 controller, the original, not the analog, the dual analog one. And you have your D-pad on the left, you have your 4 buttons on the right, and all that fun stuff. And then smack dab in the middle, where there should be absolutely nothing at all, is this giant like rotary phone dial.
For the vault.
Yeah, it looks like it has like a groove for you to put your thumb in, and then it has like all these like ridges on it. And I can only assume it's to open up like, somebody's secret layer.
Maybe it's like a weird like kitchen timer.
It's like instead of having 2 analog sticks, it's just like having one massive one right in the middle of the controller.
Yep.
So
that's bizarre.
To each their own. If that's your speed,
JogCon.
Go for it.
It's called a JogCon.
Oh no, dude, that's the DualSense controller for the PS5.
Look at that haptic feedback.
Yeah. And like Will said, you can sync it up with your kitchen timer, so you got something in the oven.
Your eggs will always be perfect.
Yeah, right there.
Dude, it protrudes out so much.
Yeah. Look up just listeners, JOGCON by Namco.
Ridiculous.
This is something
another
else.
ridiculous controller.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We should do an episode on just like ridiculous controllers.
Oh yeah, that would totally fill up 2 hours.
Just ridiculous game equipment. Yeah. For sure.
So it sounds like you've done quite a bit of gaming with your brother. Is that right, Zach?
Oh yeah. Back in the day, that was like PS1. We had that in our room, believe it or not, with like a small TV that's probably smaller than my laptop monitor here right now.
Good old like 13-inch.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that and he's a big fan of sports games, still is today. He's a hockey player, so I remember playing some sort of hockey game on there too. I don't think it was like NHL or anything like that. Just some sort of off-brand hockey game at that point. Maybe it was like an ESPN thing. I'm not sure. Funny thing though, I remember doing this. Absolutely hilarious. If I got into like a like overtime, like a shootout against my brother, obviously it's your third-person hockey player. Someone's playing the goalie, the other person's playing the shooter. And when I was the shooter, I figured out that you could turn around and go score in the other goal that didn't have a goalie in it, and it would award you a point. And that would cause my brother to like rip the controller out of my hands and like beat the living shit out of me, because I would do it every time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we've all had one of these.
Yep.
With the DVD player in the bottom.
Convenience.
Yep. So yeah, a lot of sports games. Probably my favorite game on the PS1 though, two favorite games maybe, was I played Rayman and Spyro. Were two fun ones for me.
Very nice.
Yeah, Spyro was really fun. Like I said, I loved dinosaurs, dragons and stuff when I was like that age. So Spyro was like the man to me.
So
I'm pretty sure I beat that game. I wanted to get the new one too. I know they completely remastered the older one for the PlayStation 4, right?
Yeah, I think Ben was Ben was talking about that on a private call with me and Alex Dombeck recently, actually. And I didn't stay for the whole thing, but yeah, I think he picked it up. He's been playing that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think he was talking about that. I think he even mentioned like who's the we were talking, I think we were on like a call at work, and someone mentioned some celebrity, and he mentioned that was the voice of Spyro the Dragon. I forget. I'd have to look it up. Who voices?
Oh, yeah. It was like somebody somewhat famous? Or maybe somebody very famous.
Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Protagonist, Spyro. Created by... You guys can keep going. I'll chime in with it when I have it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Zach, it sounds like, as you're telling this story of games that you've grown up with, you've had a kind of a knack early on for first-party AAA games.
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Because everything that you've mentioned is kind of like a exclusive big game. Like even back then, Spyro, Spider-Man, Cool Borders, all this kind of stuff. Those were popular games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think so too. And that's and I did have jumping forward a bit. Everyone, at least a bunch of my buddies, moved to Xbox. I didn't have the original Xbox, but I did get a 360, so I moved away from PlayStation for a bit, but came back for the exclusives once I stopped really playing with people online, playing competitive games, things like that. I still play competitive games, but not like back then. It was when I had an Xbox, it was Call of Duty, Battlefield, things like that. Maybe I'd play like GTA or something, but yeah, I think early on for sure, always had a knack for games like that.
Was there anything in particular that drove you away from the competitive scene?
No, not really. I mean, like I said, I still play a lot of competitive games. In fact, I think one of my favorite games ever is Battlefield 3. I just think that game was stellar on every single tier.
Will's a huge Battlefield fan.
You were?
Will is.
Oh, Will.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Will and I have chatted about Battlefield quite a bit. Yeah, just an all-around great game. But I think it was, I didn't grab a PS4 until I think it was 2 years ago. So I was telling Will, in terms of my timeline for games, I really just kind of got introduced, almost reintroduced myself back into the exclusive games. So it's like I had that when I was younger, where I had that PS1, and then we moved to GameCube, messed around there for a while. That was kind of like, Nintendo family games, again, playing with a brother, things like that. Moved to PlayStation 3 for a while, so I played a bunch of exclusive games on there. Kind of almost took a break from that for a while because I had friends that attached themselves to Xbox, so it was like if I didn't have an Xbox, I couldn't play with my friends.
Right.
Yeah, that was a unique time in gaming.
Well, they were really the kind of the leaders with the online, gaming space.
Yeah, I think the 360 definitely hit the mark.
Yeah.
And then in terms of, I guess we can call it last generation at this point, right?
Sure. Yeah, we can go. Yeah, why not?
Almost. We're almost there. Like the Xbox One versus the PlayStation 4. I think the PlayStation 4 won. I think physically, I think they won in console sales, but I just think all around it was a better console. That's kind of where the exclusive shined, I think, was on the PlayStation 4. And that's really where I kind of reintroduced myself to them. For me, as I told you guys before our conversation today, before the show, I'm a big Marvel fan. So when they launched a Spider-Man trailer, I was all over that. I played Spider-Man 3 on the PlayStation 3, and this one looked amazing. So, of course, I bought a PlayStation 4 just for that, and then kind of started exploring the PlayStation Store, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then got back into those AAA exclusive games.
So, I mean, it sounds like the PS4 really opened up, like, the floodgates for you, for just like, okay, now I've kind of hit the sort of echelon of my sort of gaming career.
For sure, and I think the controller brought some nostalgia to it, even though the DualShock was probably their furthest from the original controller that they had. Actually, believe it or not, I was down. I still have a PlayStation. I actually have 2 PlayStation 3s. Not 3 PS3s, Will. If the listeners, if you guys have watched that video, you gotta just go into YouTube and type in 3 PS3s, and the same guy actually did 4 PS4s, and I'm really hoping he does 5 PS5s.
I'm sure it'll happen.
It's pretty much just a guy that brags that he has, however many number of consoles, and that he enjoys them 3 times or 4 times as much just because he has more than you. It's pretty funny.
We have somebody in our Discord that has shared that meme a handful of times. Shout out to Pucks. He shared it pretty recently, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a true classic.
Yeah. That's funny.
I actually forgot about it, and then a buddy of mine, an old-time buddy, sent it to me, I want to say like a year ago, and I just died, man. I was like, I can't believe I forgot about this gem.
Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah.
So tell us what else you played, maybe on like the GameCube and the PS3 before we kind of move forward.
Well, like I said, so after the PS1, it was straight to GameCube. That for me, if I could pick one memorable game, it would be Star Fox Adventures. Did you guys ever play that?
Have you played that, Drew?
That's a game that I've tried to get my hands on, and I haven't had the best of luck.
Rare?
It's not particularly rare. I just when I was looking for it, I had a hard time finding one that was in a condition that I was willing to, pay the price for. Because it's I don't think it's particularly expensive. At least it wasn't. Adventures.
It depends. It depends which one you're looking at. The one I'm thinking of was, here we go again talking about dinosaurs. It was what attracted me to the game when I was that age. I was like, oh, bet dinosaurs, sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that game was probably hands down one of the better games I played on the GameCube.
Yeah.
Okay.
it was extremely unique for them to go that route with a Star Fox game. Most of the games have been like, you're in your spaceship. If you played Super Smash Brothers, you're probably very familiar with the character. But there's been classic Star Fox adventure games in the past. The one they released after the one I'm talking about was more, was a little bit closer to what people were used to, which was, flying around your spaceship, shooting,
right.
Asteroids and alien spaceships and things like that.
On the GameCube, you had Star Fox Adventures and Star Fox Assault.
Yes, so Star Fox Adventures was
right.
Was the one that I was talking about. Much different than a lot of the other Star Fox games. The original and then Assault.
Right.
Star Fox Adventures was very grounded. It was like it's like landing on a planet with, I think your spaceship might crash on the planet to begin with, and it's filled with dinosaurs. And I'm pretty sure it's like an entire solar system that's like broken up, and you basically have to like help put it back together, basically.
Yeah. Doesn't your
really
your spaceship kind of like transform into like this land creature?
No, not that one, but I will say there's some pretty cool like landing animations. Like that was like pinnacle of cutscene. You fly in on your spaceship, nice little cool cutscene as Fox comes and lands. You also have a companion in that game, which is Tricky. He was a little Triceratops.
Yep.
He's the man.
Nice.
He breathes fire. You train him to do stuff. He helps you out a lot, but he is pretty annoying sometimes.
Yeah, I'm watching gameplay, and
oh,
I see
dude,
this
super
little
fun,
guy.
super fun. And the reason why this game was so much different was because it was so grounded. It was less like I have my, even in Super Smash Bros. People that play like competitive Super Smash Bros. Speaking of which, I haven't even played the new one. I've heard good things though. He's got his pistol on him. In this game, you don't have a pistol, you have a staff, almost like an elemental staff that you can continuously upgrade throughout the course of the game. So it's like, shooting everything from fire to, like ice. It helps you like boost up cliffs and even like creates like a force field around you at some points. It's really cool. It's a cool weapon. It's a cool game. I remember it being very difficult for me because there's a lot of puzzles in that game. And then I think I went back like maybe like 6 years later and played the game, and I was like, wow, this is really easy.
Yeah. So
I didn't know this game even existed.
I'm going to drop a little bit of Wikipedia action on you right now.
Let's do it.
This was Rare's final game for a Nintendo console. Microsoft purchased them and bought them out and made them a first-party developer shortly after this came out. And its original plan was it was going to be a game called Dinosaur Planet for the Nintendo 64. It had nothing to do with Star Fox.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some of the original characters, Tricky and Kite, still appear in the final game. But the original plot concerned a character named Saber and Crystal.
Crystal is still in the game.
She is? Or
Yep.
he or she. I'm assuming it's a she.
It's a she, yeah. She's, I think you actually start the game out as her.
Okay. I guess
Yeah.
Miyamoto came in and it's like, yeah, this would be kind of cool if we threw, Fox McCloud on here instead.
Yeah, if you are a Nintendo fan,
Yeah.
I think Fox is a lot of people's favorite character.
I'm a huge Star Fox fan.
Oh, if you haven't played this game, I highly recommend it. Even today, it's a really good time.
Dude, the rain effects look better than most rain effects of today's games.
Really?
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
The traversal is really fun. The enemies are extremely fun. They're all like basically dinosaurs in armor. They can talk. Sometimes they're pretty funny. But great storyline. And then there's different planets that you visit. And you get to fly to there in your spaceship, and then there's like mini games on the way to like each planet, collecting rings and stuff. Don't get shot down by their spaceships, so it's really fun. It's a great game. There's a lot of different areas to enjoy in that game. So if you haven't played it, circle back if you have a GameCube.
Yeah, I do. So I'll have to.
Or a Wii. or a Wii for that matter. I guess you could plug a GameCube game into a Wii.
That's true.
Sure.
You can. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this out. This looks interesting.
Now, before I forget, Zach, you mentioned a couple times now that you really like dinosaurs, or at least you did. Did you play any of the Turok games? I can't remember.
I did. I
Okay.
did, and that's another game I was thinking about with the PlayStation 3. So I know I've actually seen gameplay of the original. Was that a Nintendo 64 game?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Turok?
Yep.
Okay. So I played the one that was a bit more flushed out or exaggerated, and on the PlayStation 3, that
Okay.
one was like. Did you play that one?
I don't think I did. I think I know which one you're talking about, though.
Okay. Yeah, that one's like, I guess same premise. You're a dinosaur hunter, but it's like got a decent story behind it, I guess. I mean, if I were to go back and play it today, it probably wouldn't be as good as I remember it, but I remember having a blast on that game, especially because I like dinosaurs. So
Hey,
I was like, dude, I'm telling you, like I said, back then it was like dinosaurs, sign me up. Sign this guy up. There's a dinosaur on the cover, boom, sign this guy up.
that's fair.
One of those
I
for me.
I feel like dinosaurs need a revival,
They
man.
do.
Like,
Weren't we just
no one
talking about
talks
Actually-
about
this?
them anymore.
Yeah, but debatable. I guess there's a lot of those Jurassic World movies going on now. I haven't seen them all, but
I mean,
Kind of trash.
Yeah.
they're exactly what you would expect them to be, and that's fine.
I guess.
Like,
I used to love the originals.
well, the originals were
I
great.
Yeah.
You know.
Again, I was young and I liked dinosaurs.
Yep.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. Yep.
No, but that game was really fun. I remember the premise is kind of like you wake up from hypersleep. I guess same kind of thing as Star Fox, if I'm remembering it correctly. Your ship gets shot down. You end up on this planet, kind of like Avatar, where it's like a, dinosaur-esque, weird creature-like world. You find out there's other beings there, or there's other humans there, I guess, that have landed there before you, who happen to be a part of like a special forces team that you trained with on Earth, and those are the bad guys. So there's a lot of gameplay of both fighting dinosaurs and these enemies, and it's pretty fun. And I don't know what you use as a weapon in the first game, but this one you get a pretty cool bow, and you get like regular arrows and explosive arrows. It's a good time. I remember that game pretty well.
Turok had the best weapons, man. Like, they were so unrealistic, but man, they were cool.
Oh yeah. In terms of challenge, that was actually a pretty hard game for me, I guess, at that point. I can't pinpoint how old I was when I played that game, but that was a pretty challenging game. There was also a lot of cool animations, like jumping up on top of velociraptors to stab them in the top of the head. Pretty gory game. I remember actually going to GameStop with my mom to buy that game, and there's dinosaurs on the cover, so she's like, sure, he'll like this game. It's got an M on it, though, rated M. The guy just looks at my mom and was like, this is rated M, right? And she's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. And he's like, there's like guns and stuff, like killing people. She's like, yeah, it's cool. He's like, stabbing dinosaurs? She's like, all right, sure, we'll take it.
Something that doesn't exist anymore. Again,
I just remember there being a very awkward exchange and getting that game. But it was good. It was good. It took me a while to beat. Like I said, it was a longer, probably one of the longer, like first person games that I've ever played. But super fun. The gun mechanics were a little wonky. Like to zoom in, it didn't actually give you like iron sights. It just kind of zoomed in your, I don't know, the little crosshairs on the screen a little bit more for you. So
yeah.
the aiming was tough in that game, but there was a lot there, I think. I would love for them to make another one, but I'm pretty sure that studio actually got bought up by Disney. I think I looked into that not too long ago. Just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Eaten up by Disney.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see Turok make a comeback, man. Like a full-fledged, not even a remake, just a brand new IP almost, and just release it on the PS5 at 4K 60 and just make some dreams come true.
Well, those
Make your dreams come true, Zach.
the didn't they?
Absolutely.
They did a remaster of the games pretty recently, didn't they?
They did. I think they were on the Switch.
Was that the only console they were on?
I think so.
Let me
I saw that. I did see that. Yeah.
remaster. Let's see here.
I think I watched gameplay of that.
No, it's on everything but PlayStation.
Oh.
Let's
Okay.
see.
Really?
Here. I think so.
It's kind of a bummer.
Turok Dinosaur Hunter. Let's see here. Mac OS on the Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. Development delay and release, reception, legacy. Yeah, it's not on the PS4. PS4.
Huh.
But it came out on the Xbox in 2018 and on the Switch in 2019.
Yeah, I do remember that. Was it Turok 1 and 2, you said?
I believe it's both.
Okay. Turok 2 was tough, man. Those games actually are kind of challenging because you can get lost actually really easily because they're huge, huge areas.
Yeah.
Oh, the remake they did was very difficult. I'm trying to really think about it. I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna play it anymore. But I remember playing the end of that game. You fight the final boss and you think you're done. Nope. T-Rex comes that you fought earlier in the game, and you like stabbed him. He comes back. He's got a big scar on his eye. I think I must have. I put hours into that final fight, and when I beat it, one of my buddies was sitting next to me. So pumped. We freaked out because we were taking turns trying to beat this thing for probably a couple weekends. Like, that's how either bad we were at this game or how difficult this game was.
Taking turns. When's the last time you took a turn with somebody, Drew, in a video game?
Oh God. Well,
Like passing the controller.
yeah,
So they can have a go.
it's been a minute, that's for sure.
Yeah. My
Do you
God.
guys like watching other people play?
Sometimes. However, I just can't remember the last time I did that either, really.
Yeah, I mean, like you're
Yeah,
looking at
me-
maybe Twitch, for
Yeah,
something
me
like that. Are you talking about like watching somebody in the same room with you, or like watching online?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
that.
I guess either way. I mean, so online I think is different, right? Because like you're looking up whatever you want to watch,
Right.
and it's your intention to watch someone really. But if you're, I don't know, hanging out and, hey man, you want to play this new game I just got? Sure. Well, you start playing it. It's your story mode game, and then your friend's sitting there, and you're like, I guess you want to give it a try.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to be that guy where he's just sitting in the back.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just-
It's
exactly.
like, dude, could I grab like a soda or something? Since you're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, help
you know.
help yourself. I'm in the middle of this boss fight.
I mean,
Go make
I'm
some
lucky
pizza
I
rolls, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm lucky because I did have a friend of mine who did really enjoy watching me play games. In fact, I'm pretty sure he watched me probably play the entire game of Infamous. I think he took a few cracks at it, but really like just enjoyed watching me play. He would sit there and like help, with like areas where there's like puzzles and things like that. But just liked watching me play, so that was cool.
Yeah, I think there's kind of a market for that. I mean, Drew, I remember one time I was at your place, you had me take a go at Tetris Effect, and we kind of went back and forth with that. So that's probably the last time I did that.
Yeah, and I mean that's the type of game where you could easily do that, and it wouldn't like ruin somebody's day. Because like even if you get in the groove with Tetris Effect and like you're really just zoning out and just getting constant Tetrises, like eventually that round is going to end. You're looking at 20 minutes tops, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
a good.
that's being generous, right?
Yeah, that's a really good game, Zach.
Oh, it's
Tetris
amazing.
Effect.
Yeah.
If you have
Yeah, you'd probably like it.
if you have PSVR, apparently it's amazing with that too.
I don't have VR. Got a PS4 Pro.
Yeah,
It's on the market. If anybody wants it,
I'll give you $1.
put it up.
$3.99, baby.
$3.99. Got 2 DualShock controllers. Charging dock, upgraded 2 terabyte hard drive.
Nice.
I'm sure everybody knows why you're selling it, but why don't you tell us, Zach, why is this thing on the market?
Well, your boy wants a PS5, man, and we want to get as much as we can get for that PS4. Save up for that PS5.
Are you going physical or digital?
I'm going digital.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are against it. I'm not a collector by any means, and I think nowadays, especially with this next generation, I think the disc drive is really almost just for novelty. You know, if you want to collect games, if you're that type of person, I think it's for you. I don't even use the optical drive on my PS4 Pro now. I think I have maybe 4 games that are in disc version. The rest are all downloaded, including most of my favorites. So the fact that I don't use it now, the PS4, of course, now, right? They come with the blue drive or the Blu-ray drive on this new one.
Right.
Now that no one uses discs anymore, that would have really come in handy on the PlayStation 4 Pro. But yeah, I don't even use it for movies. I don't use it for games. So at this point, I'm just, I'll just go digital.
So what are you going to do, though? And this is, I wouldn't say it's really my argument, but I guess it's a serious question. So what are you going to do if you want to fire up Interstellar on Blu-ray or Inception or something like that? What's your plan?
Ooh. You got me, Will.
I didn't want to get you, but it's a valid question.
So I have there's actually a lot of streaming services now. I mean, this is obviously all dependent upon your network. There's a lot of streaming services now that can actually stream in 4K. So like Disney Plus can do that. So I have a Disney Plus membership. My brother and I split the Netflix and Disney Plus. He pays for Netflix. I pay for Disney Plus. And there's actually a 4K option there, so you can stream some movies in 4K. But Interstellar, that's tough.
I don't think Interstellar's on a streaming service right now.
I don't think it is.
Probably not.
You know what, Will? Why you got me second guessing, man? On the show.
Well, here's the thing. Here's my
show.
thing. So if I get the PS5 digital, which I probably will get, I'm keeping my PS3 for personal reasons. I have games on there that I need the system for. So I'll probably just use that as a Blu-ray player and DVD player. That's my backup plan.
That and a Netflix machine.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. Just drop that in the family room.
Yo, yeah.
There you go.
I'm kind of surprised you don't have an Apple TV at this point, honestly, Will.
You know what? We did have one years ago, and I actually thought it was pretty cool. But I can't remember why we got rid of it. I think I just don't think it was what I really expected. Because a lot of people don't realize that when you buy an Apple TV, you have to pay for whatever you're watching. So if you want to watch a movie, you have to rent it or you have to buy it.
It doesn't. I'm sorry. It doesn't aggregate different streaming services. You can't install Netflix on it.
It probably does. I mean, it was years ago that I got it,
okay.
So I don't really know the full capabilities of that thing. But yeah, we end up just kind of using the PS4 as a gaming and multimedia streaming device, and it probably still will be. Well, the PS5 will end up morphing into that, but yeah I think my PS4 or the PS3 will stay.
That's not a bad point. That's the Blu-ray player. That's not a bad point. Given I don't really buy a lot of Blu-rays anymore, but I guess in terms of I am an avid movie watcher. I love movies. Will, you know this because we chat about them all the time at work.
Yeah.
But I'm not one to go out and really buy a movie, but I guess if you have a few favorites like Interstellar and you want to watch that to the best of its ability, how they intended it, how the producer intended it, then I guess that's where it shines. Yeah.
Well, the thing is a lot of folks don't have a standalone Blu-ray player. The ones that do usually have some kind of crazy Magnolia set up in their basement that probably cost them $40,000. So I think your average person is watching that kind of stuff on a gaming console.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I just don't know anybody that has like a standalone Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
there's not a
that's
lot
going to
of
be
those.
obsolete soon too.
Well, it's funny because like a couple weeks ago, I was cleaning the GameStop, and I came across a Blu-ray player that I haven't had hooked up in a couple years. And I looked at it and I mentioned it to Nikki, and I'm like, we should probably get rid of this, huh? And she's like, well, yeah, because like I want you to throw everything away. And you know, like I'm thinking about like when the last time I watched a Blu-ray, and it's been forever. I just I don't know, like between between Netflix,
that's what it is for me.
Yeah, it's like I have access to pretty much any movie I want. And I don't really watch a lot of TV anyhow, or a lot of movies. Like it's just not what I do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the market has changed. I don't think there really is that much of a market anymore for people that are exclusively buying movies in large quantities anymore. It used to be a thing, for sure.
Yeah.
And I was part of that, but most people stopped because they realized that they had like, 300 movies in some bookshelf, and they're like, this is just getting absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to fall into that trap.
Sure. And at the same time, if I really want the good experience, like I'll go to the theater. Obviously, it's not there forever in theaters, but if there's a good movie coming out, I'm gonna go see it in theaters. Like I just told you, I just saw Tenet in theaters, and wow, that was an experience. I'm telling you, that you should have went. It was incredible. That
I probably
movie,
still have time.
I feel bad for Christopher Nolan, but good for him for releasing it. I just don't think it's gonna hit the mark that it should have because of everything that's going on.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good point.
It's going to be a financial disaster.
Yeah,
not his fault, but
well, look at what's going on right now. There's all these movies that were supposed to come out now. Actually, there's movies that were supposed to come out back in March,
right?
That didn't. And then there's also all these, these companies that are trying to produce movies, but they can't. So there's almost going to be a lag in entertainment. I mean, there's plenty of entertainment out there in terms of like new movies and things like that. I feel like there's almost going to be a lag because there's so many people that have put, a hold on what they're doing.
Right.
So I guess it just depends on how far into the movie you are. Are you at the editing stage, or are you still trying to do reshoots, things like that? It's all tough to do today. So
well, one of my my favorite shows on Netflix, Glow, just announced today that they had a season 4 planned, and they're canceling it in the show because because of COVID they can't film it. It's a show about women professional wrestlers, which inherently has people in close contact with each other, breathing heavily. And it was a great show, and I'm super disappointed to hear it got canceled.
That sucks.
But it's understandable,
Yeah.
And that was going to be their last season anyway. Like they were wrapping up the story, and now we'll never get that closure.
Damn.
So anyway, now that I'm all depressed.